Welcome. This is Zangler, the Tesla Semi Advocate, and today's episode is entitled Minute Work. The dateline is July 12th, 2024. And the summary is that the Zangler, the Tesla Semi Advocate, formerly known as Tesla Semi Stalker, flew during working hours to catch the construction crew in action. So it hasn't even been a complete work day, as I flew yesterday after hours. And they probably had 7 hours to work today. And they have added additional footings and extended the perimeter foundation quite a bit for just one day. And I cannot wait till they get to the far south end and make that turn to the left so that we can see the dimensions of the new Tesla Semi high volume production facility. If you compare this shot to yesterday's shot, essentially everywhere you see a dirt mound in the top right of the shot, those are newly dug footings. So, and some of the ones without fresh dirt are also newly dug. They've been pretty busy, and later we'll get a close-up of them in action, and you can kind of get a size, a scale for how big these footings are. And the thing is, right there, what we're looking at, if you can see very well, those remind me of the same kind of reinforcements that they put in the freeway construction that they're doing up on the Donner Pass near here, where the Tesla Semi takes its test runs. In any event, they're sort of set in pieces rather than built rebar cages built on the site. For any of you viewers who have been in the trade, I appreciate all the comments and clarification. My expertise is not construction, but and I'm barely a decent drone pilot, although I've promised myself I would drop the self-deprecating humor. It's just too easy. I wouldn't say too much more steel building material has been delivered since yesterday, maybe a little bit, especially on the eastern perimeter of the construction site. Later on, we'll see some of that, and there may be, it looks like there may be additional steel deliveries that took place up there. We're about to see, this is the break shade tent next to the a couple of the porta potties, and if you've been paying attention, some people have decided that, and it makes sense, using the number of porta potties on the site is a proxy for how many employees. And one of our viewers pointed out that it's basically one porta potty per 10 workers. The other thing I want to point out is I had speculated that these areas that were fenced off here were going to be potentially for constructing rebar cages. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, it doesn't look like they're doing rebar cages, and they're not doing it there. Turns out what that is construction worker parking, and we'll get a better look at that later. This is the equipment or the material that I had talked about, and now we're going to take a look all along the southern perimeter, which we have not often got a really good look at. A lot of equipment lined up, and I think most of their heavy lifting is done. So it'll be interesting to see if if some of those go off site. But in terms of our porta potty count, I'll look later, but there were 2 right there. We counted 14 on the northern perimeter of this construction site, and we'll see how many more are on the southern edge of the construction site. That's a pretty good sized loader that's moving dirt. To give you a perspective of scale, this is a large factory, hopefully going to produce thousands and thousands of Tesla semis. Here's a better look, zoomed in look at these footings, and you can see from the size of that water truck could disappear into some of those footings. By the way, I would point out that in general, the Tesla Semi construction line is rather simple. The main and most important piece of equipment is a bridge crane. So I can't wait till sometime in the future to spot delivery of a bunch of bridge cranes that would indicate that the building is almost done. So I've done some very detailed analysis and research into the process for constructing a factory like this. And from what I understand, you can do it in 4 easy steps. The construction process is: step 1, prepare the footings and perimeter foundation. Step 2, assemble the big boy erector set, steel, using giant cranes, and it's an exciting part to watch the steel workers connecting all the pieces, as we've seen at Giga Texas. Step 3 is attach the prefab walls. And step 4 is rock and roll and fill out the assembly line so that we can start producing a high volume of Tesla semis. Thanks for joining.